This is Daf Yomi Yerushalmi Shabbos, and the article Oz Bahar edition of Daf Chaf Aleph Amrav at the two dots, which is 3, 6, 9 lines down. Tamad Tnina. The in the Vilna, that is more the same placement on the page. Yud Zayin Amrav though. 3, 6, about 9 lines down. Okay, Tamatnir. We learned over there. It says Kalim anything which is less than 3 by 3 tefachim, any fabric. She's kilo fukbos Americans, but you even though it's less 3 by 3 tefachim, unless it's very chashuv fabric, it was so yesterday, really should not be makabel tuma. But you designated it for the purpose of stopping up a bathhouse, or not a or to use it as a pot holder to. Hold on a hot pot to shake it, or to wipe clean a mill. Whether it's prepared or not prepared, the more it's going to discuss what that means. Tame, it's tame divrei Rabbi Elazar. It says here it says af matlis chadasha, but the Karmei and Pnei Moshe both change it to bein min hamucham ben she'enim min hamucham, whether it's prepared or not prepared, tor. So it says no matter what Tomei, Rabbi Yeshua says no matter what Tor. Akiva America has a third shita. Mina muchan Tor, maybe she mina muchan Tor. If it's prepared, it's Tomei. If it's not prepared, it's Tor. Okay, so ma ben muchan ben shenim mina muchan. What does it mean? Muchan and not muchan. Ben shechina letoch habayis. Whether you prepare it inside the house. Ben shechina, if that's prepared. Ashba, or whether you threw it out. That's enim muchan. So Gemara says this goes back to words which we erase it for. Ap matlis chadosha. But now didn't we learn? Rabbi Elazar Omer ap matlis chadosha kayetze bahen. Says a new rag is like them as well. The relates Barnash Amar Af Afilu. Person that's using language of af or afilu, ela de mode ad kadmaisa, unless he concedes to the first point. So the Pnei Moshe says, explains this a little bit of length. Let's see Pnei Moshe. But now then we learn Shem Perek Chabav Sofo. It says there at the end of that parak, shalosh 3 by 3 tvachim really should be. Sheishlicha b'ashpos, which you put through into the trash heap, is Torah. Chizira tmeya, when you take it back, it can become tamei again. So it's 3 by 3. But you toss it in the garbage, it's tar. You took it back, it's meya. Lo mashal chasla metarasa v'chazras metamasa. So if you ever throw it out, loses its significance. If it's take it back, it gets its significance. Except for very expensive material, purple material shells, or it's Torah, Tova, some other shiny material. Also, a new matlis, a new rag. Low batli, since it's significant, it's not batel. Even if you toss it in the garbage. Amar af o afilu. Person doesn't say these words a day. I came moida unless moida kan maisa. You could see the first one. The mishar begodim ashachas lashma metarosa. That other garments where you toss in the garbage, it is metaret. She'enu cholka blazazeh. It doesn't argue this. But karla who came. And there must be that's the case. Abzeh ketziba, but shagaman v'chule. These are garments are like that. Avo b'shar b'kadim modo. So the other garments, he can see the point. He says that the rest of the garbage is metaret, right? The except for tzargama, zoris, and matlis chadosha, right? So that's the case. If it's 3 by 3 tvachim, so tossing the garbage is metaret. So that's in 3 by 3. It's certainly tossing the garbage is metar. Ve'echka marta the shena mucha Rebbe Lezer shlichal ashpo. How can you say according to Rebbe Lezer shlichal that enam and mucha means you're tossing the garbage and it's still metame? He said even it's 3 by 3, it's not metame once you throw in the garbage. So Gemara changes its definition. So the Gemara says, "Bein sheichina litzloisa, bein shlochina litzloisa." Whether you designated it, the way the Pnei Moshe puts it, that it's you designate it in order to hang it up. Right, it's losa, even though it's with a test, it sounds like in order to use it as a patch. It's as if it says with a tuff. It means as if you designate in order to hang it up. In other words, give it a special place, a place to store it. So so then it doesn't matter whether you designate a place for it or not, as long as you're using it. That in of itself gives it the status of being makabel, being suitable to makabel tuma. The Carbonated explains the kipshuta, whether you the zlusa with a test, whether he says that uh, uh, ben shechin, mishay ben shechin litzlosa beged. You made it for a patch, right? But the bottom line is that it doesn't matter if you designate to use a patch or you designate in order to hang it up. Maybe it says it's tummy, but not if you're mashal chashbar. As you can see, if you toss in the garbage, then it loses its capacity to be makabel tuma. Okay, now the one says so da yafa min ha vahi yafa min ha da. So from our Mishnah, we learned to the Mishnah Kalim, and from the Mishnah Kalim, we learned to our Mishnah. Hada yafa min hahi, that our case learned from that case. The Rabbi Lezer, what did you say? That case learns from our case. The Rabbi Lezer, according to Rabbi Lezer, and here the Ephraim changed the gears from Vuhu to Vafil. Vafil Shkipla. Since Rabbi Lezer is our Mishnah, that even you fold it, it's still not, it doesn't lose chashivas. Hold it there. The beged or even shalosh mishol, pachas mishol shalosh, unless you toss it into the garbage, and beged shalosh as well. But unless you saw the garbage, it doesn't leave it lose chashivas, even if you folded it. It has to be tossed in the garbage. That's the barometer. And our Mishnah learns from that Mishnah. When does it lose its chashivas? When that in our Mishnah, Rabbi Kiva says, "Torah madlikimba," right? The baggage keeper of lo hivava. That's lo yoichin litzloisa. If you didn't prepare it, either according to Moshe to hang it up, according to there's a patch on a garment. Avachina litzloisa, but if you actually gave it a significance by designating it, place for it, a purpose for it, so then even it's tamei even as Kuman says, kivoy tamei. So our mission is where you didn't give it that special designation, either a place or a patch. Okay, so my time of Rabbi Lezer. Why is Rabbi Lezer not allow you to light this garment? The package keep level. Why, as long as you didn't ignite it, is it no good? So Nasik Mitar Kelim Shabbos. It's as if you are Mitar Kelim on Shabbos, even though it's not normally Mitar Kelim because it's a toilet, but by igniting it, loses status of Keli, and therefore was Tameh. It now becomes Tor. So therefore, it's as if you're a garment on Shabbos, and therefore it's like Misakin, and therefore you can't use it for Shabbos candles. Became a Shkipla lo tahara. So once you fold it up into the form of a wick, it's not tahara. So why, according to Rabbi Lezer, even then is it still not usable? So evidently there are sometimes when people who are craftsmen specifically fold fabric in order to use it in certain ways. So therefore, he holds folding is not mabatalit because sometimes craftsmen fold it for some other purpose to use it in a certain way. So therefore, that's not going to be a form of bittul. So the Gemara asks, "Ulomi bo yomi Torah." The look, you're burning it before Shabbos begins. You're using to light Shabbos candles, so you're not being mitar on Shabbos. You're being mitar before Shabbos. What's the problem? Shabbos. No, just like Shem and Sreifa, like Shem and Sreifa on any Erev Shabbos, because Erev Shabbos comes on Yontif. So it's here. The problem is sometimes Erev Shabbos comes on Yontif, and on Yontif you're not allowed to be Masakim on it either. So therefore, on that account, they asked it on all Arbi Shabbos. So the Gemara says, "V'lo me'ela, lo me'ela." I have never my Gemara's looking at Gilin Ephraim. Okay, so I'm going to go with Gilin Ephraim's gear. So he takes the next line, not these words, and he moves that line down to after the words Mikule Shalosh Al Shalosh. Afterwards, Shuaima makes fame for Ein Elok B'Shul Mikule Shalosh Shalosh, and then he puts in those words Rabbi Yossi Ber Bebun Tipata Shalosh Shalosh Mitzum Tzamos. So I'm going to go with his Girsa. Okay, so the which is from I think it's from the Norm Yerushalmi. Yeah. So most of the Ephraim says are based on Norm Yerushalmi. Norm Yerushalmi was Marich and the Ephraim was Makatzer. So the way it goes is V'lo Milei Torah Am Rabbi Yossi Ber Bebun Tipata. It is it not Torah on its own? I was going to say because you put in the oil, and where it says no, it's going to tell you about where it had 3x3 precisely. Rabbi Achab B'Shem Rabbi Simon, and we're going to explain in a minute. Rabbi Achab B'Shem Rabbi Simon Rabbi Shimon Azira says, I saw Mazar Tahira. If you make this garment into a bandage, Moshe says, make it into a strap for a vessel, which is any strap you make for a vessel, not for human purposes, is tahar. But Mazar, I think, is the Tanakh word for a bandage. So I think that's the more likely shot. So Yahushua says, "Some Mazar tahar." Shari b'shem and lok Moshe asar mazor. When you soak in oil, isn't like you're making a mazor. Right? Rabbi Zir, Rabbi Yana, Rabbi Shua, Yerushalmi Shabbos, Levi near Dvarim Shatei Aloch, Rabbi Kiva. It seems that Aloch Rabbi Kiva should Omer Ein Shneim because he's a Machria. It says any other Rabbi Shua Mikol Shalosh Shalosh. And now I was like Rabbi Shua who says that it is because the leniency of 3x3. So now, since it's what it means is the one that says it, once you soak it in oil, right? That was a Lomi isn't a Torah. Going back to the beginning. So if it's not, isn't it a Torah on its own because you soak it in oil? So he says that it's I messed up. I read the line. So I was supposed to read there. Torah is not the Torah on its own because Rabbi Achor, Rabbi Shimon Zira said, I saw Mazor Torah. So L'shayah Shem and Lokum Yishal saw Mazor. When you dip in oil, is it not like you're making a bandage? So therefore, why should it be a problem at all? It shouldn't be a problem at all. Because Rabbi Zir and Rabbi Yana, Rabbi Yerushalmi Shabbos, Shimon Levi said near Dvarim, Shaloch Akiva. We thought Halacha is like Rabbi Akiva, who was the Machria and said, well, it depends. It's Muchan and not Mina Muchan, and ain't like Rabbi Yeshua because it's Halacha Rabbi Yeshua. So Kuli shalosh. So, where's the Kuli shalosh? That it is, since it's less than 3 by 3, because that was the machlokas there in Kalim, but it's less than 3 by 3. So we're lenient, and we say it's easy to be invatal it. Just toss in the garbage. So here, when you put in the oil, it's also it's no longer has any status. So what's the problem? Why would we answer it even without kipul, right? Just go back to went into oil. That should be in and of itself sufficient. So that Rabbi Yossi says that's we move the line here. That no, it's not sufficient. Because we're not talking about that's a kula a matzonis which are pachs mishal shalosh. The pot there we're talking about in our case should be shalosh mitzumtzamos. So it's 3 by 3 mitzumtzamos. We don't have the kula. That kula is only with less than 3 by 3. Then a minimal act of discarding is sufficient. Minimal act of putting in oil makes like a mazor, and it's sufficient, and it's considered to be no longer metatame. But here, it was precisely 3 by 3. That's why it doesn't work. Okay, now next line. Lo sof davar Torah tmei. Rabbi Lezer, I'm going to the Ephraim start here as well. It says, when Rabbi Lezer says tmei, he ve'im alikimba. Right, even if you fold it, it's still tame, and you can't use it. So where it says that, but the thing is, according to Rabbi Lezer, you still can't use it, even if it's Torah. You can't use it if you fold it. It sounds like because it's tame and you can't be malik in it. It's like Misag Keli. So it says, well, no, even if it's Torah, you can't be malik with it. Doesn't matter. Why? Because the so it's make Kimba, and that he says that even if it's Torah, it's not you can't use even if it's Torah you can't use it after begin the Rav Amar Masin Kelim Emes Kelim because Rav said on Yontif you can use you can burn Kalim because not Muksa. You can't burn Shibra Kalim, which are not designated from before Yontif because they Muksa. So therefore, in our Mishnah also, when it says to me, even Torah can't be malik ba because we're talking about like Zera because Yom Tishchalos Erev Shabbos, Yom Tishchalos Erev Shabbos, you can't use Shibra Kalim. Now I have to use Shibra Kalim. So on Yom Tov, whether it's Chal Erev Shabbos, you're not allowed to use Shibra Kalim because of Muktzah issues. So therefore, folding, he says, it's like a Shibra Kali, and it doesn't matter if it's Torah or Tameh. You can't use it on Yontif, and therefore you can't use it on unless you come to use it on Yontif, which happens to call Erev Shabbos. You can't use it on any Erev Shabbos. Keep you can't use anything which is just folded to make the Shever Keli, and therefore you have to first singe it before you can use it. Rabbi Akiva, however, holds Rabbi Akiva, however, holds that it's once you folded it, it's no longer keli, and it's no longer shever keli. It's ba'alma, so therefore it's not a problem. So that's why Akiva holds. There's no such gzera. Again, it's like using a piece of wood. It's actually no longer a keli, which would be mutter. It's not a shever keli, which would be also, at least if it's yontif. But it's all that is irrelevant if there's no gzera to make because once you folded it, it's no longer considered to be keli or sheva keli, but it's just like a piece of wood. It's a psila. Therefore, it's okay. Okay, next Mishnah. Lo yikav them shvafer shel beitza. Person should not pierce an eggshell. I was once in the Museum of Living Torah in Brooklyn, and they showed us an eggshell contraption, like an ostrich egg, which had a hole in it, from which the oil would drip into the candle. But this is I like the shot of Tosser Kiveger in the name of the Mariel, and this is what I say by Mem Madlikin. I say it this way: Leikov Adam Shvafer Shabitza. It's a reed, right? You should not pierce a reed, which is like a straw. If you there and put it and fill it with oil and put it over the top of the candle. Be sure to take in order that you drip down, provide more fuel to the candle on Shabbos. But if you feel cheres, and even that is that tube is made out of pottery, it's also even though it's repugnant, you're probably not going to use it for something else. No, it's still also either matir. Rabbi permits it. The Im Chibra Yotze Mitchila, if however, if it's this is only if it's not a separate keli, but it's all part of the contraption. It's mutter. Lo yimali don karashem neder beside an air. A person should not fill a plate full of oil and put it next to the candle. Similar issue, right? To make an additional fuel supply next to it, because they're afraid you're going to remove that fuel supply. If that's that plate next to the candle, Rabbi permits it. Okay, I think that brings us to the top of Chaf Beis Amud Aleph. So we will stop here.